During the course of today's conversation, we are going to delve deeply into everything that is currently associated with AMC Entertainment. A number of factors have been reported in the media, including theater closures, margin pressure, short sellers, dark pool activity, and even large institutions such as Citadel Securities and JP Morgan Chase have been mentioned. Therefore, let's begin with the subject that everyone is talking about, which is the shutting of AMC cinemas. A significant number of individuals quickly went to the most negative conclusion that could possibly be drawn, stating, "This is a sign of weakness or decline." However, when you truly listen to management commentary and start reading between the lines, you will notice that the narrative is completely disjointed. This is not a collapse. Rather, it is optimization that is taking place. There are dozens of locations whose leases are about to expire, and rather than blindly renewing each and every one of them, AMC has decided to cease operations at the locations that are not performing well. These are the websites that are bad for margins, cause money to be lost, and drain cash. It would be illogical to keep a theater running if it incurred operating expenses that were constantly higher than the revenue it brought in. Therefore, the corporation is reducing the amount of dead weight and concentrating solely on places that are either lucrative or have a significant volume of traffic. In other words, it is possible that the number of theaters that are closing their doors will momentarily be higher than the number of theaters that are opening their doors, but the quality of the theaters that are still open will improve. The number of problematic assets is reduced, revenue per site is increased, and operating expenses are reduced. If a corporation is going through a period of reorganization, this is actually one of the most astute actions they can make. There is no retreat. Rather, there is a tightening of efficiency. In addition, it is something that AMC has done in the past, which is one of the reasons why their financial situation has been more stable in comparison to previous years. On the other hand, critics always seem to portray this as a sign of impending doom and gloom, utterly ignoring the fact that AMC continues to be the largest theater chain in the United States. Consider, in addition to that, the peculiar behavior of the market that we have been observing. Suddenly, we are back to exceptionally heavy off-exchange or dark pool trading, with at least 70% of volume occurring away from lit markets. It is difficult to ignore the timing of this phenomenon. Negative headlines are appearing everywhere, and strong off-exchange activity is pushing price pressure downward. This is happening at the same time as AMC is attempting to strengthen its balance sheet and possibly raise capital through share sales, whether or not it was done on purpose. It creates a situation in which the stock has difficulty accurately reflecting the actual demand for purchasing it. One almost gets the impression that whenever momentum is building, something is putting a stop to it. There's also the part of the narrative that is on the periphery, which a lot of people choose to ignore. The act of shorting AMC is neither simple nor inexpensive. Due to the regulations governing volatility and the federal margin requirements, short sellers are required to deposit substantial collateral, which is typically equal to or greater than 150% of the position's value. Therefore, if someone shorts 1 million shares, they are committing a significant amount of capital only to keep that bet going. If the price goes up, that becomes a very dangerous proposition. Even a slight increase can result in margin calls and liquidations being required. And we have already witnessed instances in which the AMC had a sharp increase for a few days, while at the same time, the utilization of dark pools skyrocketed. Rather than engaging in free trade, this indicates that short sellers are taking a significant defensive stance in an effort to control risk. In addition to that, there is a continuous discussion around retail ownership. A number of individuals assert that the typical retail investor has thousands of shares. It's possible that this is an exaggeration, but even cautious calculation demonstrates that if a sufficient number of regular investors each retain a few hundred shares, the float will be locked up in a short amount of time. And what is even more peculiar is the fact that the data that is supplied by AMC appears to be inconsistent depending on the platform. Other broker displays an entirely different volume number than the one that was displayed by the first broker. Every location has its own unique market capitalization, number of outstanding shares, and ownership percentages. In the case of other stocks, you hardly ever see that. Because of this inconsistency, questions regarding transparency and whether or not regular traders are genuinely able to see the whole picture are inevitably raised. In light of the fact that this is where things start to become very fascinating, let's now discuss the institutional side of things. JP Morgan Chase is reportedly distancing itself from Citadel Securities in response to the scrutiny that is associated with short-selling activities, according to reports and social chatter. A significant amount of trading activity in meme stocks, such as AMC, has been linked to Citadel for a considerable amount of time. While this is going on, several lawsuits and investigations are being conducted all across the market, and they are concentrating on charges such as naked short selling and settlement failures. There's a potential for a domino effect to occur if major actors in the financial sector are subjected to legal or regulatory pressure. Volatility can be quickly increased by a number of factors, including reduced liquidity, stricter collateral regulations, and forced covering. A further expansion of the scope reveals that this is not only about AMC. A number of different areas, including swaps, leverage, and global financial risk, are experiencing intense levels of stress across the market as a whole. As an illustration, companies such as Apollo Global Management have been involved in intricate asset transactions with UBS as a result of legacy liabilities that are associated with Credit Suisse. The fact that huge institutions are quietly cleaning up their balance sheets is demonstrated by these kinds of transfers. The unwinding of leverage can result in unanticipated volatility appearing everywhere, including in stocks that have been aggressively shorted. On a global scale, there's also an example that is worthy of being mentioned. Following the implementation of stringent measures by South Korean regulators to combat naked short selling, the market in that country saw a robust rally. The concept is straightforward. There is a possibility that natural demand will emerge when there is less manipulation and when price discovery is more transparent. If equivalent action were to take place in the United States with greater vigor, it has the potential to create a very different environment for stocks that many people believe have been suppressed. To return to the corporate side of things, consolidation is also taking place in the media industry. A number of significant acquisitions involving Warner Brothers are being made by Paramount Global. The discovery indicates that entertainment assets continue to have a significant amount of value. The fact that AMC operates directly within that ecosystem is why this is significant. Movie theaters typically have higher box office performance when they have stronger studios and content pipelines of their own. When you take into account AMC's exposure to Hycroft and precious metals trends, you can see that there are various avenues that could sustain future revenue in addition to ticket sales. And then there are whispers that are circulating about partnerships or deals that may completely revolutionize the industry, with names like PayPal being mentioned occasionally in conjecture. There is, of course, no confirmation of this, but it does underscore the fact that AMC is not simply sitting idle. The organization is continuing to investigate other strategic possibilities. Therefore, when you take a step back and put everything together, the story is not simply about AMC closing cinemas out of business. The story encompasses a much wider scope. The company is reducing the number of locations that are not profitable, attempting to reduce cash burn, enhancing bond ratings, controlling debt, and positioning itself for improved efficiency. At the same time, short sellers are subject to stringent margin requirements. The activity level in dark pools continues to be raised. Large financial institutions are being scrutinized, and the market environment as a whole is undergoing considerable change. All of this points to a single conclusion. There is no way to eliminate volatility. For all intents and purposes, pressure is increasing beneath the surface. Additionally, when pressure builds up for a sufficient amount of time in a stock that is heavily shorted and closely followed, changes can occur quickly. Therefore, rather than responding to frightening headlines, it is more prudent to concentrate on fundamentals, structure, and incentives. This is because once you have a firm grasp of these concepts, you will know that what appears to be negative on the surface may actually be strategic positioning for higher long-term performance. I'm sorry, guys, but it is all we have now for you. Regarding the stock of AMC, what are your thoughts? Participate and share your thoughts with us in the comments section right below. You are appreciated for watching.